Another note on this game tonight. Wright State is the Raiders. So what does a Raider look like? Well, this is the Oakland Raiders. This kind of looks like a Raider or pirate, right? This is Wright State's logo. It's a wolf. I say advantage NKU because Wright State, talk about an identity, they don't even know what their mascot is. Is it a Raider? Is it a wolf? I don't know. NKU may be favored just because of that, Gary. Live from BB&T Arena. Jed DeMusi, Local 12 Sports. You and I actually played in the same high school football league. You had a little more success than I did in the Federal League. Austintown Fitch, Jackson Polar Bears, but Austintown left the league. Were you guys scared or what?
I don't know. I mean, they had some big boys over there in the Federal League, but
you grew up in New York, so you really didn't have a need to drive a car. So the first time that you tried to take your driving test was here in Cincinnati, and it didn't go well.
No, I failed.
Well, after Todd Grantham turned down the Bengals, deciding to stay at the University of Florida for a pay bump yesterday, the Bengals defensive coordinator position still open. The good news is the NFL has decided to delay the start of the NFL Combine and free agency until they find one. No, just kidding. They're not going to do that. Time is marching on, and it's getting tight for the Bengals. The latest, Ian Rappaport reporting the New Orleans Saints. They are blocking Cincinnati from interviewing their secondary coach, Aaron Glenn, for the D.C. position. Speaking of time not waiting for anyone, the Big East season was passing Xavier by as they tried to figure out their issues. Last night, a step in the right direction. Ending a 6-game losing streak with an overtime win over Creighton didn't come easy. But down the stretch where Xavier has struggled this year is where they shined last night. 8 points in the final 2 minutes to force overtime.
A lot of these games in the Big East are 50-50. It's about who can execute at the end of the games, right? And again, we came out on the right side tonight. And it's like I told our guys, we got to earn the right, moving forward against Providence as well. It's the same thing, and you got to earn it in practice.
When I made phone calls and sent emails to set up this Mic'd Up series, Cooper head coach Tim Sullivan asked me, how many times can I curse before I get bleeped? Coach, you can use a grand total of 0 profanities. I mean, I don't expect a high school basketball coach to be versed in the nuances of the Federal Communication Commission's best practices, but come on. Coach Sullivan was great. Here's a preview.
Yep, come off of it, Sean. Good, Mike. Get up. Where the dunks at? Ain't no Dunkin' Donuts today or what? Let's go. Pop. Roll with it. Get up, Mike. Nope, it ain't happening. It ain't happening for old Vince. That look like Vince up there.
If Valentine's were defensive coordinator, Zach Taylor today would be sitting with a spoon and a half-gallon of ice cream watching Bridget Jones's Diary. Bengals still don't have one. Todd Grantham staying with the Florida Gators. The Saints won't even let the Bengals talk to cornerbacks coach Aaron Glenn. We're one more rejection away from Taylor setting up an account on Match.com. In an interesting development, though, it seems as if the Bengals were the ones who said no to Jack Del Rio and not the other way around. The former head coach of the Raiders and Jaguars wanted the job, but it was Taylor saying no to him. So, make sure you tell everyone in study hall tomorrow. The latest that DC was hired in last year's offseason cycle was February 7th. I don't have to tell you that we're now a week later in the game, and the Bengals are still without someone running their defense. That's problematic. Ohio State's NCAA tournament hopes in pretty decent shape right now. The way the Big Ten Conference is shaking out, there are games against really good teams where a win can help your resume, or, as is the case tonight, a loss to Illinois would really hurt Ohio State come Selection Sunday. Illinois hasn't won in Columbus since 2009. Under 9 to play in the game, Andre Wesson, great pass ahead to Dwayne Washington, who elevates, gets fouled, 3-point play. Gives the Buckeyes a 1-point lead. 90 seconds left. Buckeyes down 6. Keyshawn Woods finds C.J. Jackson hooping the harm. Ohio State within 3. Illinois would not relent. 30 seconds left. Ayo Dosunmu from deep. That would be the dagger. Ugly loss for Ohio State at home, falling 63-56.
I'm getting emails and phone calls and text messages from people that I don't even know who they are. I get a text message from somebody that has just a number there and an area code from I don't even know where, and it just says, "We're with you."
It's bittersweet that it takes a tragedy to bring out the best in us. 2 weeks after the Humboldt junior hockey team's bus crashed into a semi-truck killing 16, the UC and Xavier hockey teams raised money for a community that before the tragedy they had no idea existed.
We've been playing hockey our whole lives. We spend half our year on bus trips. It just really hits close to home because we're always traveling. We're always playing hockey. A lot of our guys went through the junior hockey system.
The hockey community is very big, but it's actually at the same time very small. It's very close knit. Just seeing maybe something like little Cincinnati, Ohio, all the way across 25 plus hours away, have the response that we have, it's pretty awesome.
All of a sudden, an idea thrown together in 2 weeks had a huge turnout. In attendance, Blaine Stoughton, former Cincinnati Stinger, who with the Hartford Whalers led the NHL in goals scored in the 1979-80 season.
My heart just dropped thinking about all the times I've been on buses all over Western Canada, and friends of mine. For that one instant, it's beyond odds. I mean, how could that happen?
The 16 lives lost, the countless number of lives affected was this close to directly affecting the West Side, specifically Oak Hill senior Chandler Trenopole.
For next year, I don't know where I'm going yet. We're still trying to figure that all out. But one of the teams that I was going to try out for was Humboldt, and we're actually supposed to be there right now. And we were talking to the coaches and everything, and it hit pretty hard when we found out.
Shocked. I mean, like you said, I just talked to him the week before. I had everything set up to go up there, and all of a sudden, we're not. I couldn't even imagine being one of the parents. It would be the worst thing ever. You have your kid go out and let him chase his dream, and it's gone.
Tragedy has a way of bringing us together. It also teaches us to appreciate what we can do and who we have in our lives and how precious they are. As time passes, let that be the legacy of Humboldt. Jed DeMusi, Local 12 Sports.